Namaste, Alok here. Happy to guide you through this yoga practice today. We'll start seated and find a nice tall spine. Always good to support the hips, to have the hips a little higher than the knees if possible. We'll start with an inhale, roll the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale back and down away from the ears, opening the heart. Close down the eyes for a moment and just feel the aliveness in your body. Feel that energy running up the spine. Find a little more length through the crown of the head. Exhale all the air out, tucking the low belly and letting go of any tension in the body. Inhale, fill the lungs, feel that fullness in the heart. Exhale, let it all go. 2 more like that. Just filling the lungs, belly comes out, chest expands. That energy of the heart expanding throughout the body. And exhale all the air out. Letting go of stress, tension in the shoulders, the neck. One more time. Inhale fully. Feel that expansiveness. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale this time. A little more sip of air. And let out a sigh. Bringing the palms back to the heart here. Setting intention of release and letting go, as well as bringing in more self-love and appreciation, gratitude for this day, for your body. And we'll just bring the hands down and come to our hands and knees to start. If you need to use a blanket to pad the knees, that's always helpful. So starting on the hands and knees. Knees are just under the hips. Start some big circles. Great way to warm up the joints of the body, the hips, the shoulders, the wrists. So you can start small and then get bigger with those circles. Using the breath here, and then go the other direction. You can always go a little slower, just feeling each joint, each position. Where are there stuck energy? Where can you move and be more fluid? And then tucking the toes under, just reach the hips back toward the heels, stretching the bottoms of the feet here. Exhale all the air as you tuck the chin, and then coming forward, let the hips fall forward and lift through the front of the body. Open the chest, lift the gaze. Nice, do a couple more like that. Exhale, hips back toward the heels, tuck the chin, round the spine. And then coming up through a round spine, slowly let the hips melt as you open the front of the body. And back bend, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Hips back toward the heels. And then inhale, start with that rounded spine and then let the hips fall and come into a back bend, lift the heart, open the chest. Nice. Exhale back. This time we'll walk the hands to the front of the mat and find our Anahatasana heart melting pose. So engaging the arms, see if you can let the forehead come down to the mat. Roll the forehead from side to side as you press into the hands, finding that lift in the armpit, elbows lifting. Nice deep breath here. One more inhale, see if you can melt the heart even more toward the floor. Beautiful, slowly come back up. Tuck the toes if they're not already, and lift the knees, finding our first downward dog. Just pedal out the heels, let the head and neck be surrendered. Nice deep breath here. Exhale all the air and tuck the low belly. Feel that engagement in the core. 2 more deep breaths here. You can find a static dog or keep walking, whatever feels good for your body. Throughout this practice, always listening to your body over anything I say. Your body is the real teacher here. Let's just wag the tail a little bit. And then bend the knees deeply, look forward, either step or hop to the front of the mat. Have that halfway lift, extend through the crown of the head. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, tuck the belly and fold with soft knees. Again, inhale, come up halfway, just hands right below the knees. Extend through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Last time, inhale. Find that extension, length. Exhale, fold. And then with soft knees, reaching the arms forward, come all the way up to the sky, ceiling. And then palms come down to the heart. Feeling that energy of the heart space, finding that gratitude. And then we'll do our wrist rolls. So imagine you have magnetic bracelets and just start to roll out the wrists. This is also getting the elbow and shoulder joint. Go the other direction. Notice your breath. And then interlace the fingers. We'll do the wave. And try the other direction, leading with the other elbow. It's kind of tricky. Nice. And then just shake it out. Bounce on the knees. Let out a sigh. Nice. Shaking, shaking, bouncing. And then bringing the arms wide, we'll just do some taps with the arms, windmill. So we're tapping these potent marma points. There's one right under the collarbone, this lung point, letting go. And in the back, in the low back, the kidney point. Just waking up these energy centers, soft knees. Beautiful. And slowing that down, coming back to center, bringing the feet together, knees together. Slide your hands down between the knees, fingers are in between, and then start with little circles, warming up the ankles and the knees here. Feel all 52 bones of the feet supporting you here in this beautiful structure of the arch. And then go the other direction. And then sliding all the way down into your forward fold. Shake out the head and neck. Bend one knee, bend the other. Come into a little twist in our forward fold. So bend that right knee, bring the right hand outside the left ankle. Bring the left hand up to your sacrum, begin this twist. You can look up. If it hurts your neck, just look down. You can stay here. You can lift that left arm toward the sky. Nice soft bend in that right knee, extending that left leg as much as you can. One more deep breath here. If you're reaching, reach up, twisting, and then softly release, shake it out. Other side, so bending the left knee, left hand outside the right ankle. You can start with the right hand on your sacrum just to begin the twist. Again, choosing whether to look up or down. You can stay here or lift that right arm toward the sky. Find that lift in the heart. Opening the right side of your chest. One more breath. And softly release. Shake it out. Forward fold. From here, we'll bend the knees as much as you need to place the palms on the mat and just step back to a plank. Nice. Finding our plank, shoulders are right over wrists, even a little forward so that the shoulders are more over the fingertips. And then we'll warm up the knees, so bending the knees, bring the hips back toward the heels. In animal flow, we call this loaded beast. And then bringing the Legs straight, back to your plank. A couple more like that. Hips back toward the heels as much as you can. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale, hips back. Exhale, back to plank. Nice. This time bending the knees, bring the hips back, and then straighten the legs up to that mountain peak position. Downward dog. Wag your tail. Nice. Lifting that left leg, press the right heel down, stretching the right calf, and then rotate the left ankle 3 times in each direction. Feel that extension through that left leg. And then lower the left foot down. Press the left heel to the floor as you lift the right leg up. Rotate 3 times each direction, warming up the right ankle. Let the neck be soft. Nice deep breath, and then lower that right foot. Bend both knees. Again, press the hips back. Look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Find that halfway lift. Extend through the crown. Exhale, fold and soften, letting go. And then with soft knees, reach forward all the way up to the sky. Exhale, palms come to the heart. Find that lift in the heart. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach up. Extend. Exhale, the prayer hands come down, soft knees all the way to the floor. Fingertips on the mat. This time we'll just step the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Lower that left knee. Again, if you have a blanket, you can have that for padding. Come up onto that front knee. You want to make sure that foot is in front of the knee and you're not bending the knee past the ankle. You can come up here with the arms, grab that left wrist, do a little side bend here. Opening the left intercostals, rib cage, all the way down into that hip flexor psoas. And if it feels good, you can soften into that front knee a little deeper. Inhale, length. Exhale, deepen into it. One more breath. Beautiful. Slowly release. Right hand to the knee, left hand to the floor. Start a little twist. Look over the right shoulder. Stay here or lift that arm up if that feels good for your shoulder. Then we can do some big circles with the arm here. Again, noticing your range of motion here, and at any point if there's pain, just finding ways to lessen that pain by doing different movements. Go the other direction. So we always say if it hurts, don't do it. So just finding what works for your body today and sticking with that. Beautiful. Slowly release. Right hand outside the right foot. Lift the left knee off the ground and then step back to a plank. And we'll bend the knees again, bringing the hips back toward the heels, and then straighten the legs up into that downward facing dog. Tuck the chin and then slowly roll through a plank. So we'll come forward with the hips. Once we get to our plank, you can lower the knees and lift the heart into that back bend. Open the heart, strong arms, lift the gaze. Inhale, exhale, tuck the chin, widen the shoulder blades. You can start to lift the knees off the mat, back to that peak position, finding your downward dog. Nice deep breath here. Wag your tail. 2 more deep breaths. Softening the heart toward the knees. 1 more breath. Bend the knees deeply. Look forward. Step or hop to the front of the mat. Find that halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. And then soft knees, reach all the way up. Find the sky. Exhale, palms, return to the heart. Turning to that place of gratitude. all that your body is capable of. Exhale, release the arms, reach forward and up. Back bend, palms come together, down the center of the body, fold. Find that halfway lift again, tractioning the spine. Fingertips down, step that right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Lower the knee. Again, you might need to step the left foot forward. Find a nice distance between the foot and the knee, and then come up. Finding your lunge. And you can stay here. You want a little more into that side bend. Grab your right wrist with your left hand, leaning over to the left. Inhale, length. Exhale, deepen into that stretch. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Left hand to the knee, right hand to the floor. Start a little twist. Look over that left shoulder. You can lift the left arm. If you like that big circle with the arm, if that feels good for your shoulder. Lubricating the joint by bringing gentle movements before we get into more dynamic weight-bearing activities. Always helpful in the mornings. Even the black belt martial artists will start with the simple joint movements like this. Find that opening, lift that left arm, and then place it outside the left foot. Nice. From here, lift the back knee, and then step back to a plank. Nice. Bend both knees, reach the hips back as far as you can, and then straighten the legs to downward facing dog. We'll wave through our plank, so coming forward, we call this wave unload. If you want to keep the knees lifted, you can, just staying on the toes and opening the front of the body. Back bend. Exhale, tuck the chin, widen the shoulder blades, rounding the back up to that peak position. Downward dog, lower the heels, wag your tail. 2 deep breaths here. Bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Find that halfway lift, extend through the crown. Exhale, engage in the low abs as you fold. Then reach forward, come all the way up. Slight back bend if you like, and then palms return to the heart. So this practice of self-love, finding that balance between effort and surrender, always coming back to the heart. Nice. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Bring those prayer hands down the center of the body. Halfway lift, extend. Fingertips on the mat. This time we'll step the left foot back and keep that knee lifted. I'm going to remove the blanket out. So finding that strength in that back leg, come up to your front thigh first, lifting the heart. Then we'll reach up in our lunge here. And then as we exhale, bend the elbows and bend that back knee, strengthening. Inhale, strong back leg, lift. Exhale, soften in that back knee as much as you like. Inhale, strength. Lifting the kneecap. One more time. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift, and then straighten both legs here. Bring the hands to the hips and step that left foot forward and lower the heel. Make sure you're on 2 train tracks here. Lift through the heart, and then coming forward here, you can first find length, pressing that right hip back, pressing the right heel into the ground. Find your place of resistance, and then you can walk your hands down the leg. If you have blocks, you can use blocks here to bring the ground closer. And eventually rounding the back, rounding the head toward the knee. Let everything surrender over that front leg. Again, pull the right hip back. Feel that engagement in the hamstring as you stretch. Nice full breaths here, sending some loving kindness to your hamstring. And whether you think you're tight or loose or whatever it is, just appreciate where you are today. One more deep breath. Let the forehead sink toward the knee. Beautiful. Slowly walking back up that leg. We'll find our flight, bringing the arms wide here, little wings, and then see if you can find that lift in the back heel and maybe a little hop to find our flight, maybe warrior 3. So finding what works for you, maybe coming up, lifting that back leg, enjoying your flight, finding that strength in the standing leg as you lift that back leg even higher. Nice deep breaths. Gaze is down. Woo. And then reaching down, finding your landing gear, lifting that back leg even higher. Again, you can use blocks here if needed. Let the head and neck relax, shake it out. Deep breath as you lift that back leg even higher. Then exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Squeeze it in, core. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose. And then let the left foot lower right next to the right. Shake it out. Good job. Little side to side with the arms. Nice work. Bouncing on the knees. Beautiful. We'll just roll up like a rag doll. So keep the knees soft and arms and head relaxed as we roll back up to stand slowly. Whew. Nice work. Other side. So inhale, reaching forward and up. Back bend. Palms come together down the center line of the body. Fold. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Extend through the crown. Exhale, hands on the mat. Step back to a plank. Nice. Bend both knees. Hips back toward the heels. And then straighten the legs. Wave, unload. So come through down dog. Find the plank. And then again, you can lower the knees or keep them lifted as we open the heart, lifting the gaze. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin, widen the shoulder blades. Arms are strong this whole time, coming through downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels. Nice, left leg lifts up to the sky. And then bringing that left leg forward, step it outside the left hand. Bring the hands to that front knee, slowly come up, strong back leg. Nice, a little bounce here helps. Eventually reaching forward and up. Inhale. Exhale as we soften the back knee, bend the elbows. Strong back leg, lift and extend. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Last time, exhale. This time strengthening that back leg, lift up, and then bring the hands to the hips, straighten that front leg, and step a little closer with that back leg and out to the side. So again, it feels balanced here. Then square the hips forward, even pulling that left hip back, open the heart, lift the gaze, and then lead with the heart as we come forward. Again, once I find my resistance, I'm pushing into that heel, pulling that left hip back, finding length through the crown, and then you can surrender, walking the hands down the leg, or blocks, or the floor. Wherever you're at is perfect. Just finding your breath to help release the hamstring. So inhale, I find a little more lift and length, and then each exhale, I'm surrendering forehead toward the knee. You need to have patience with the hamstrings. Using that exhale to release. One more deep breath. And when you're ready, slowly crawling your hands back up to stand. Nice. Bring your arms wide, find your wings. And then we'll challenge ourselves to lift that back heel first and find a drishti point on the floor in front of you. And then maybe we can come into our warrior three. So challenging yourself to your level, wherever you're at. If you can, lift that back leg even higher. Strong standing leg. One more deep breath. And then bringing the hands down to the floor or blocks. Lift that back leg even higher. Nice inhale here. And then exhale, draw the knee in. Core strength. Inhale, extend and lift. Exhale, knee toward your nose. Squeeze it in. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And then replace the right foot down on the mat. Shake it out. Nice work. Let the head and neck be relaxed. Let's go into a deeper forward fold here. Lift the left foot. Slide the left hand under the foot all the way up to the wrist joint. And then same with the right hand. So you might need to bend the knees deeply to get there. Wiggle the toes, massage your wrist joint. And then you can slowly straighten one leg and the other, just finding your stretch today. Let the neck be relaxed. So the knees can stay soft. And softly release, one hand at a time. Soften the knees and bounce. Beautiful. From here, we'll just place the hands down and step back to a plank again. Nice. Find that lift in the hips here. Exhale, bend the knees. Straighten the legs up to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Right leg lifts, extend through that right heel. And then right foot steps up. Outside the right hand, lift the right hand. Then bring both hands to that front knee, come up. This time lower that back heel. Bring the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers, open the heart, lift. Feel that extension through the arms, knuckles toward the floor. Strong back leg here. See if you can lift the arch as we start to fold forward in our humble warrior. Forehead down inside that right knee, lifting the arms and knuckles toward the sky. Shake out your head, make sure it's relaxed. Feel that humbleness of the warrior, surrendering with each exhale. One more deep breath, and then softly come up, using those arms to guide you. Lift back heel, and then reach the left arm forward, and right arm can reach back. Find a twist here. Nice deep breath. And then soften that front knee. See if you can sink into it. Left arm reaches toward the floor as the right arm reaches up. Nice twist here, strong back leg. And then lift the right toes and pivot 90 degrees to the right as you come to the outer edge of that back foot. And reaching back, we call this twisted lizard. Wherever you are, breathe. And then lower that, let's try stepping back to a side plank. You can always lower that back knee, just what I was trying to say. So finding your side plank, reach overhead. If you want that full side plank, extending both legs, find that length and lift in the hips. Challenging yourself with a couple more breaths. Feel that strength in the obliques. One more breath. And then softly roll to the plank. Lower the knees, widen the knees, sit back. Child's pose, take a breath. Wag out your tail. Just appreciating the strength in your body, resilience. Roll your forehead side to side. Nice work. We'll come back, hands and knees. Tuck the toes under and lift back up. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Nice. The left leg's going to lift up, extend, and then step it forward between the hands. Lift up as we come to that front thigh. Nice. Strong back leg, and then lower the heel here. Interlace fingers behind the back. The other way, it feels different. Soften into that front knee, lift through the heart, open the shoulders, lifting the gaze. Nice deep breath here, and then lead with the heart as we come forward. Head can come inside that left knee perhaps. Let the neck relax, lifting the arms as much as you can. Finding that humbleness in your warrior. Humbleness to accept where we are and let go with each exhale. One more breath. Use the knuckles to pull your torso back to stand. Beautiful. Open the heart and release. Right heel lifts off the ground. And reach the right arm forward. Left arm reaching back as much as you can. Feel that twist in the torso, the abdomen. Inhale, length through the crown. And then right hand down to the floor. Left arm reaches. Find that twist. Nice deep breath here. And then lift the left toes and pivot the foot 90 degrees to the left, coming to the outer edge of that back foot. You can reach back toward the back of your mat, find that stretch. And then again here to transition, lift the hips up, power into that right arm, and see if you can lift that left leg to the back of the mat. Side plank. You can always lower that right knee if you need, and then lift overhead, finding the strength in your obliques by lifting the hips. Nice deep breath here. One more breath. And then come back to a plank. Nice work. Widen the knees, lower the knees, sit back, child's pose. Shake it up. Roll the forehead side to side. Beautiful work. Slowly come back to hands and knees. Tucking the toes under, take your time. Lifting the hips up. Peak position here. Let's lift the heels and then roll through a plank. Coming through up dog or lifting the heart, the gaze. Knees can come down. And then tuck the chin, widen the shoulder blades, lift the hips back up. Downward facing dog. Wag the tail. Right leg lifts. This time bend the knee and open the hip. You can lift the left heel up. Soften the left knee. See if you can reach those right toes to the left. Nice deep breath. And then softly swing that right knee toward the left wrist or elbow. Strong core. Nice. Inhale, come back into that scorpion reach, we call it. Really opening the hip, strong arms. Exhale to right elbow. One more time, lift that leg up. Open the knee toward the sky. And this time bring the right knee and just place it down behind your right wrist on the mat. Nice. Scoot the left foot back. Lower the left knee. And come up onto your fingertips, and then we can open the angle of this knee for our pigeon. So find what works for your body today. Some people like to try to bring the shin parallel with the front of the mat. Just find the angle that works for you. Blocks are helpful here. Nice proud chest lift, and then surrender into your pigeon. You can come to the forearms, or if you can support your head with your fist or come all the way down. Find a place where you can rest, and then shift your hips from side to side here, finding a little release in that joint. Deep breath here. Exhale, let out some sound. One of the biggest muscles in the body here. We can really have patience as we release each exhale. I like to keep moving here, just little shaking from side to side to help release the muscles. We can try a little bit of resistance here. So as you inhale, just push the shin down into the mat. Feel that engage the muscles you're stretching. And then exhale, release. Let it go a little more. Again, inhale, press the shin down. Exhale, release, relax, let go. Finding that balance between effort and surrender. One more time, press the shin down, engage, and then exhale, release. And you might find a little more depth in the pose. Shake it out. And we'll slowly lift, coming back onto the hands. And finding, again, that strength in this pose by pressing the shin down. See if you can lift the hips up, and maybe you can even find your pigeon wings. So just finding challenge. That's optional. You can always have the fingers down. The idea is to really find strength in those hips. One more lift in the heart, little back bend. And then place the hands down, tuck those back toes, lift the knee off the floor. Then see if you can lift that right leg all the way up, shake out the leg, shake out the hip, circles with the knee, whatever feels good. And then place the right foot on the floor, pedal out the heels. You can stay here in downward dog, or if you'd like to do one more wave unload, we'll slowly move through our plank. You can lower the knees or keep the knees lifted as you open in the back bend, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin, roll back to downward dog. Nice. Left leg lifts up, extend, and then bend that knee, open the hip. Reaching the right heel high, soften the right knee. Look under your right armpit. Maybe one day the toes will be there. Nice deep breath as we lift that left knee even higher. And then exhale, swoop that left knee all the way to the right elbow or wrist. Exhale all the air. Inhale back to the sky. Lift the knee. Open the hip. Left knee to left elbow. Strength. Inhale one more time. Open that hip. And then we'll slide that left knee up to the left wrist. Place it on the ground. Slide that right foot back. And then come up. Lower that back knee. Open the angle of the foot here for a pigeon. So again, finding what works for you might be different on each side. Fingertips here, lift through the heart. Find that length in the front of the body as you slowly come down into our sleeping pigeon. Again, find what works for you, but if you need extra padding under the hip, that's also helpful, or blocks under your forehead or forearms. Using props always helps. A little side to side motion with the hips. And then taking a few breaths to just surrender and let go. Each inhale, just scanning for any tension in the shoulders, the face. And exhaling, let it go. Feel how you can use the breath to help bring awareness to where you're holding unnecessarily. This is the practice of yoga, is to really attune our brain, bring mindfulness to those places that we tend to hold tension throughout our day. And using that exhale to help release and let go. So we can try that balance here by inhaling, pressing the shin down into the mat, and then exhale, release. So it's just an isometric contraction as we inhale, press the shin down, and exhale, release. And each time you might feel a little more depth in the stretch. One more time, inhale, press the shin down, exhale, release the hip. Little shake side to side. When you're ready, slowly walk back. Come up to proud pigeon, fingertips on the mat. Again, you can just stay here and press that left shin down, finding the strength. Maybe you can find your wings. Just finding what works for you. Strong hip, nice opening in the heart. Maybe gaze lifts up. And then release. Hands down in front of your chin. Tuck the right toes under and lift the knee off the floor. Then lift that left leg off the mat and lift it up, shake it up. Nice. Bring both feet down, pedal it out. Wag your tail. Nice work. Nice. We'll bend both knees here, reach the hips back toward the heels. Look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. And then find our seat. Coming down. Nice. From here, just find your seat. Hands come behind, fingers face backwards. Open the heart and chest here. And then pressing the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe the hips will come off the mat. Nice. So sliding the hips toward the heels. You know, a little stretch in the shoulder joint here. And then bring the hips back toward the wrists. So a couple like that. Just finding that strength in the shoulder, a little opening. Okay. Yeah. And then find that midpoint and just open the heart, press the chin back. Feel the strength in those postural muscles to keep the heart open. Strengthening the neck by pressing the chin back. One more breath here. And then softly lower the hips to the mat. Straighten the legs out. Shake it all out. That's one more core strengthening here. We'll reach up toward the sky and find this L position. Your knees can be soft here, bent. Exhale, just reaching out toward the toes. No, don't need to grab anything. Just use that core strength. And then inhale back toward the sky. And then exhale, hands come behind. And inhale, lift the hips at any amount. Find that lift, reverse plank. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, reach to the sky. Find that strength in the spine. Exhale, you can soften the knees as we reach forward, flex the toes. Inhale, reach up. Find that length. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, lift the hips, reverse plank. One more time. Exhale, hips down. Find that length as you reach up toward the sky. Tuck the low belly. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands come behind. And one last time, lift the hips, open the front line of the body, strengthen the back. Exhale, hips come down. Nice, one more time, inhale, reach up, flex the toes. This time we'll come into our forward fold. So if you need to bend the knees any amount, you can. If you find your hamstring stretch, we'll use the breath here to inhale, lengthen the front of the body. Exhale, soften into this pose. So a little wave with the spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften into that forward fold. And then reaching up toward the sky. And we'll lay back, so make sure you have room on the mat to slowly lower all the way to your mat, using your core strength to see how slowly you can lay down. Once you're down on the mat, reach your toes out, fingers reaching length. Nice deep breath, and then let out a sigh. Bringing your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice squeeze. Rock from side to side. Then arms out to a T. Bring your knees so they're right over your hip. So they're like you're sitting in a chair 90 degrees. And then notice the back wants to arch here. Press the low back into the mat, engaging the core. Inhale here, and then exhale, let the knees fall to the left. Inhale, center. Again, try to press the low back down as you exhale to the right. So again, we're just moving inhale, center, exhale to the left. But the whole time we're trying to keep the core engaged. So when we come back to center, press the low back into the mat and then let the knees fall to the right. Keep going, inhale, center, exhale to the left. If you like, you can extend that right leg and a kick and then come back to center. Exhale, knees to the right, left leg can extend. So that's extra if you want to try kicking to each side. Just moving with your breath. So if you want to go slower or faster, wherever the rhythm of your breath is, follow that. Feeling the strength in the core, the obliques, as we move from side to side. Also a great stretch for the low back. Again, following the rhythm of your breath. One more time on each side, ending with that knees to the left. Ending to the right, whatever side you didn't start with, and then just squeeze the knees in. Again, feeling that self-love, appreciation for all that your body can do. And then bring the knees wide, reach for the feet here, the outer edges if you can, and then happy baby. Just rock from side to side, massaging out your back. And we'll softly bring the feet together, knees wide, so Supta Baddha Konasana. The arms can be by your side. Just do a little lifting and lowering of the knees here to let those inner groin muscles relax. Then you can just settle into a softness here, letting the knees fall open. And notice the low back here, if you can engage a little bit and press the low back down, finding length. Inhale, full breath in. Exhale, let out some sound. Let it go. So if this is comfortable for you, you can stay in this pose for resting, or if you'd like to extend one leg at a time for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Find what works for you, make sure you're comfortable. Roll the shoulder blades underneath so the heart is nice and open. We'll take a final breath together. Fill the lungs completely and hold the breath at the top of your inhale. Feel that expansive energy. Hold the breath and then take another sip of air. Hold it in. See if you can take more air in, that prana, life force energy. And then let it out through the mouth. Release and let go. Finding that place of being, the beautiful present, this gift of the moment. to moment awareness. Realizing the past and the future are just in our minds. All we have is this precious moment. We can choose how we approach each moment with gratitude. Feel the rhythm of the breath. And then slowly wiggle toes and fingers. Reach overhead, stretch, bend the knees, bring it into your chest. Find your way to come up slowly. So whatever you need to do, slowly come back to a seat. Take your time. If you need to find a block or blanket to sit on, you can sit on that. And a nice tall spine. Bring the palms back to the heart. Just again, that place of intuition, gratitude, and compassion. We'll end with that sacred sound of Om together. Exhale all the air out. Take a deep breath in. Bowing to yourself. And bringing the hands to the earth. Thanking the earth for the support and abundance. And appreciating you for being here today. Thanks for showing up for yourself. From that place of self-love that we can give more. See you soon. Have a beautiful day.